everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Alicia, and today I would like to explore some of my thoughts on the complexities of emotions. I believe that we're all experts to some degree in this area. However, we're not always adept in articulating or processing or even submissive enough to allow ourselves to feel into our emotions, to discover what it's there for, what is it teaching us, and ultimately, how is it there to develop us. It's pretty sad that in this era of where ego is exalted and being in your feelings is frowned upon, many of us tend to suppress, deny, or even try to escape our emotions. And it's for this reason that I believe that we need to try to understand the importance of our emotions and the possibilities of it being some sort of a superpower, if I would, to use this analogy, a superpower that is, our emotions are superpowers embedded into the very fiber of our human construct that serves to assist us in navigating life's terrains. See, emotions are intricate and they're multifaceted, influencing our thoughts, our behaviors, and our interactions. Therefore, understanding our emotions is critical for personal growth as it would allow us to recognize and to manage our feelings that would help to lead to increase our self-awareness and resilience. Emotions, they play a key role in our mental health by helping us to identify and address emotional triggers and reduce stress and anxiety and depressions. It is also very important for interpersonal relationships that we understand our emotions and try to foster empathy, which helps to improves our relationships and strengthen connections. Empathy, you see, is the ability for us to understand and to share the feelings of others. It's fundamental for building strong, healthy relationships. When individuals are empathetic, they can respond to others' needs and emotions with compassion, fostering trust and mutual respect. Empathy helps to deepen connections and it encourages open, honest communication and enables better conflict resolutions that would allow individuals to approach disagreements with a calm and more balanced perspective, which ultimately leads to deeper and more meaningful interactions. By us recognizing and validating each person's feelings, it becomes easier for us to find common grounds and develop mutual beneficial solutions. Therefore, this emotional insight of embracing empathy will help, I believe, to de-escalate tensions, promote a collaborative rather than adversarial approach in resolving conflicts. Ultimately, empathy and emotional understanding will lead us to a more harmonious, fulfilling relationship and serve to enhance our overall life satisfaction. Now, before going any further, right at the top of this conversation, I want to talk about the science of emotions. Emotional understanding is a science that involves us knowing how they're processed in the brains. And they're processed in our brains through these intricate neural pathways and neurotransmitters, of which we may be familiar with two of the most popular as serotonin and dopamine. The science of emotion is often referred to as emotional intelligence, or by the acronym EI. You see, emotional intelligence involves us delving into both the physical, biological processes and the practical implications for our lives, as this will play a critical role in personal and professional success. Emotional intelligence enable us to be aware of and to regulate our own emotions, to empathize with others, and to manage relationships effectively. Any type of dysfunctions in the area of our emotions can lead to challenges in handling stress or communicating and maintaining overall mental well-being. Modern trends in neuroscience would continue to explore the brain's complexities, offering us insights into emotional regulations and resilience. While there are healing modalities such as mindfulness and cognitive behavioral techniques that are becoming more and more popular for enhancing emotional intelligence. Now, in order for us to get a better understanding of emotional intelligence, I want to break down this section into three parts. Firstly, how emotions are processed in the brains. Then, secondly, the role of neurotransmitters in emotional regulations. And thirdly, emotional intelligence and its impact on personal and professional life. See, emotions are complex physiological and psychological responses that are processed in various parts of the brain, particularly the limbic system and the prefrontal cortex. The limbic system, particularly the amygdala, it plays a pivotal role in processing emotions such as fear and aggression, while the prefrontal cortex that helps to regulate and contextualize these responses, that helps to influence our decision making and behavior. The neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, they are essential in emotional regulations. Serotonin is known for its influence on our mood and anxiety, and that can affect emotional stability when imbalanced. Dopamine is associated with pleasure and motivation that helps to reinforce behaviors that are linked to rewards. And triggers of fight or flight responses, they serve to heighten our alertness in stressful situations. Therefore, having balanced neurotransmitters activities will help to support emotional resilience and well-being, underscoring the importance of mind-body connection in emotional health. I want to drop a little advertising nugget here, that details of more of the science on this can be found on my website at www.aliciakey-holisticwellness.com. Again, that's www.aliciakey-holisticwellness.com. You will find more details on the science behind this, because there is more science that I really don't want to go through a lot of the details of the science, but you can find them on my website. All right, I hope that you check it out. Thanks. So now the second area that I want to talk about is the role of the neurotransmitters in emotional regulations. See, neurotransmitters, they are chemicals that transmit signals across synapses. Synapses are the gaps between neurons in the brains, and they play a significant role in emotional regulations by influencing how these neurons communicate with each other. For example, the serotonin and the dopamine and so forth. Now, again, more of the science will be, the extended version of the science will be on my website. Thirdly, I want to talk about the emotional intelligence and its impact on personal and professional life. This encompasses several key components such as self awareness, social awareness, situational awareness, self regulation, relationship management, and so forth. I personally want to emphasize here, to go off on a little tangent, as per my perception, that society, schools, and other forms of social institutions, they did a very poor job at orienting us in the areas of emotional intelligence and its importance. And to borrow a line from my daughter on what one of her friends was told by a professor in university, and I quote, open quotation, "No room for emotions in the classroom. Wipe those tears and turn to page 34. Close quotation." And that's how social institutions deal with emotions in our society today, which I think they've done us a real injustice in this area. To wrap up this section, overall, I want to say that understanding the science of emotions and cultivating emotional intelligence are pivotal for us achieving overall wellness. By integrating this knowledge into our daily life, individuals can enhance their personal growth, strengthen relationships, and thrive in various diverse environments. Now, within the science of emotions, there is a system of emotional classification. See, there are two dominant categories within this discipline, namely basic emotions, example, joy, sadness, fear, and complex emotions, example, jealousy and pride, of which we all have experienced or personally displayed, be it subtle or intense, various degrees along the full spectrum of human emotions we have all displayed or experienced at some point in our lives. Having said that, here is where I feel that it is important for me to briefly define and differentiate between the two categories of emotions. Basic emotions, you see, are universal and they're innate. They're shared by all humans, regardless of culture or upbringing. They're usually immediate and automatic responses to stimuli involving simple, direct experiences. Examples of these basic innate emotions are joy, which is a feeling of happy or content. Then there's sadness, which is that feeling of sorrowful or downcast. And there's fear, feeling scared or threatened. Then there's anger, feeling frustrated or enraged. Then there's surprise, feeling shocked or amazed. And then, of course, there's disgust, feeling repulsed or offended. To move on to the complex emotion, secondly, these complex emotions are more nuanced. They're subtle idiosyncrasies and often involves a blend of basic emotions. They're typically influenced by personal experiences, cultural norms, and social context. And they can be more difficult to perceive or to discern or to identify and understand. And here are a few examples of these complex emotions of which I speak. For example, jealousy, which is a mixture of fear and anger and sadness, which is often related to perceived threats, to relationships or so forth. Then there's pride, which is also a combination of joy and satisfaction. Typically this stems from personal achievements or the success of someone close to us. Then there's guilt, which is a blend of sadness and fear associated with feeling responsible for a wrong action. And we can talk of also embarrassment, which is a mix of surprise or fear or something, some type of shame, usually related to social situations, and of course, not to forget gratitude, which we often overlook as a complex emotion, which is a combination of joy and appreciation, often linked to receiving help or kindness from others. Now, to move on to the second segment of this conversation, which is the role of emotions in our daily life. I want to just give a shout out to all the true troopers that are still with me in this conversation. If you've made it this far and you're still with me, I just want to honor you and give a big shout out to you and say how grateful I am. Thank you so much. Moving along, the question here is, how do emotions influence our choices and judgments? Emotions, no doubt, they play a significant role in shaping our judgment by affecting how we perceive and evaluate situations, right? They can alter our decision-making process in several ways. And I want to talk about a few of the top most common ways that I think that emotions influence our decision making. First of all, firstly, there's biases and something that we called heuristic. Psychologists call heuristic. In this way, emotions they can lead to cognitive biases where we rely on emotional shortcuts, or as psychologists call it, heuristic, instead of rational analysis. For example, if I feel happy, I might be more optimistic and take risk, while sadness, on the contrary, can make me more cautious and averse to taking risk. Secondly, there's attention and perception. Basically, strong emotions can focus our attention on certain aspects of a situation while ignoring others. Fear, for instance, might make us overestimate danger and underestimate potential benefits. Thirdly, there's memory and recall. Our emotional states are influenced by what we remember and how we recall the past events. Positive emotion can enhance recall of positive experience, while negative emotions can do the same in a very negative way, affecting our judgment based on those memories. Fourthly, there is interpersonal judgment. In this area, emotions can impact how we judge others' behaviors and their intentions. Anger might lead us to interpret someone's action as hostile, while if we perceive someone as empathetic, that might make us more forgiving and understanding. Then there is also motivation and goals. In this area, emotions are driven by our motivations and our goals. For example, feeling passionate about a cause can inspire determination and persistence, while if we feel indifferent to that goal or situation, that can result in a lack of action or interest. Overall, emotions, they shape our judgments by influencing our thinking, our perceptions, our memories, our interpersonal evaluations and motivations, often in ways that can be both beneficial, yes, and detrimental, depending on the context. Now, moving along to the third segment, this is managing and understanding emotions. In this segment, not to repeat what I've said earlier, but it involves recognizing, interpreting, and effectively responding to one's own emotions and those of others. It requires self-awareness to identify what you're feeling and why, as well as emotional regulations to manage and express emotion in a very healthy and constructive manner. See, effective emotional management can lead to improved mental health. It can enhance communications and more, and allow for more effective problem solving. Overall, it plays a critical role in personal well-being and social interaction, helping individuals navigate complex emotions. We talked about those complex emotions as opposed to basic emotions. It can help us navigate complex emotional landscapes with more resilience and more insight. Now, here are some practical tips to help us manage and balance our emotions on a daily basis or whenever needed. The first category will be journaling to track and understand emotions. Then there is establishing a support system. And then there is seeking professional help when necessary. And I'm going to give you a few tips in each of these categories. But prior to that, one that I have found to be the best remedy for managing my emotional wellness and physical wellness is sleep. I think sleep is one of the most basic self-care tip that helps to prioritize if we can prioritize ourselves to have adequate sleep, it would be of great benefits to us. Getting enough rest every night, typically 7 to 9 hours for adults, will support physical health, cognitive functions, and emotional well-being. Sleep, you see, it allows your body to repair and to regenerate. It enhances your mood and stability, and it improves our concentrations and productivity during waking hours. Making sleep a priority can be positively impactful on every aspect of your life and promoting overall health and resilience. Okay, so that was my tidbit on sleep. As you can guess by now, I like to sleep. It's my way of meditation. Okay, so the first category here is journaling and using journaling to track and understand our emotion. This is a powerful tool for personal growth, emotional regulation, and mental health. Journaling can help our emotions in the following ways. Self-awareness, writing about our feelings will help you become more aware, more self-aware of them. And by putting thoughts into words, you can better understand your emotional responses and the situations and their triggers. Secondly, processing emotions. See, journaling provides a space to process complex emotions. By writing, you can explore feelings that may be difficult to express verbally or even fully understand at first. Thirdly, and this is a big deal, identifying patterns. Regular journaling allows you to spot patterns in your emotional responses. Over time, as you look back, you might notice certain triggers or recurrent themes, which can be critical for you understanding and managing your emotions. Fourthly, there is emotional releases. Writing about your emotions can serve as a form of emotional release. It can help alleviate stress and reduce the intensity of those negative feelings. And finally, problem solving. Journalism can help you to work through problems and to develop solutions by reflecting on your emotions. In this way, the events that cause them, you can gain new perspective and find ways to cope and resolve those issues. The second category that I mentioned earlier was establishing a support system. Support systems are vital for improving our understanding, processing, and balancing of our emotions. And here are a few examples of support systems. Family and friends. We want to cultivate relationships with trusted friends and family members who can offer emotional support and advice and companionship during tough times. There is also support groups. We can join local or online support groups related to our interests and challenges or specific needs. Example, there are parenting groups and mental health support groups. Then there is mentorship. We can seek out mentors or role models who can provide guidance and encouragement and perspective based on their experiences. Also, there is community resources, and you want to be able to utilize community centers, religious organizations, or social clubs where you can connect with others that are facing similar situations or interests as you. And lastly, because of the information age and the internet, we have online communities. And here you want to try to engage in online forums or social media groups that focuses on topics or personal interests to support your needs. The second category is seeking professional help when necessary. Life coaches are one of the professions, and life coaches serves to help with managing and understanding emotions by providing that guidance and support and strategies that are tailored to an individual needs. Life coaches such as myself, we help clients develop greater self-awareness by identifying emotional triggers and patterns in a very non-judgmental space where we help you to explore and to process your emotions, which can lead to deeper insight and personal growth and help you maintain emotional management practices in your daily life. If you are interested in a life coach, do check out my website again at www.aliciakey-holisticwellness.com, and you can always book a session there with me. All right. Secondly, in the area of profession, there is therapy and counseling. In here, you will consult with a therapist or a counselor for support in managing emotional challenges and improving relationships or coping with life transitions. Note that there is a bit of a distinction between a life coach and a therapist or counselor. So do your diligent research. All right. And thirdly, in this category of professionals, there is a medical profession where you can seek out guidance from your medical doctor or specialist for physical health concerns or symptoms that require professional diagnosis and treatment. Fourthly, there is psychiatry, where you can consider a psychiatrist, psychiatric evaluation and treatments for mental health conditions that might require medication management or specialized therapy. There's also support hotlines. You can use crisis hotlines or helplines for immediate support during emotional crisis, such as suicidal thoughts or severe distress. I would urge you, if it's just something immediate and it's just you're just having a moment, to utilize these hotlines. I myself used to work at the Toronto Distress Center. It is a hotline for just about anyone in the community that is distressed. It's called the Toronto Distress Center, and we have callers. We used to have callers that would call in on a daily basis. Sometimes for the entire week, I will hear the same voice. Once a day, they know that they've got a time slot for 15 minutes, and they will call and they will just share whatever they're feeling or whatever's on their mind. Sometimes it's not always about having suicidal thoughts. A lot of people in our society, they're shut in. They are. We're not having a pandemic, but a lot of people are in isolation. A lot of people are lonely. A lot of people are by themselves, and so they just need someone to talk to. And we're trained to listen. Listening is a skill. Actually, we call it active listening. It's a skill, because a lot of times a caller will call in, and it's not about what we know and what we've learned and what science and all of this stuff. It's just about being there, just being in that moment with that person. If whatever they say, if you believe, I believe. Enter into their situation, their conversation, their feelings with them. And this is what's called empathy. There's a powerful quotation that I love to use, and it's called, and it was I forget this moment what it escapes me what the author of this is, but the quotation reads, "People begin to heal the moment they feel heard." Sometimes it's just about listening, just about being there. You can be in a room with someone and not say anything. Neither of you say anything, and you can leave that experience feeling like you've had the best conversation. You feel so rejuvenated. You feel so blessed. You feel so lifted. We have these human connections. We have these feelings. We have these energies that can be transmitted. And not to get too deep here, but by all means, give the hotline a call. And I'm not advocating for this, but I found it to be a very, very good and positive tool that is out there for the society to use. All right. So moving along, there is also what is called EAP, Employees Assistance Program. So if you are at work, you are employed, ask around your workplace if there are programs that are that offer confidential counseling or support services to employees and their families. I know that a lot of big companies do offer these programs, so do find out and take advantage of these programs, because we pay for them, in our taxes and all this stuff. So do take advantages of whatever resources out there for us to help to improve ourselves. Because establishing a robust support system and knowing when to seek professional help can significantly enhance our ability to manage challenges, to improve our well-being, and to navigate life's complexities more effectively. Okay, folks, so we're almost there. So there's also what is called therapeutic approach, and therapeutic approach is basically used when managing emotions. While distinct in their methodology and focus area, therapeutic approaches, they aim to empower individuals to improve their emotional well-being and develop effective coping strategies for various life challenges. It is important to note here that connection between emotions and anxiety or depression. See, emotions play a pivotal role in anxiety and depression, which are two of the most common mental health disorders worldwide, and it's rapidly on the rise daily. Hence the reason having this conversation, I believe, is absolutely necessary in raising awareness to this global epidemic. Anxiety is often characterized by persistent worry and fear, which leads to heightened emotional arousal and difficulty in relaxation. Whereas depression, on the other hand, it involves feelings of sadness and hopelessness and loss of interest in activities, affecting emotional experiences profoundly. So, understanding the interplay between basic and complex emotions, as we talked about earlier, and their disorders is critical for effective treatment. Emotional dysregulation in mental health disorders refers to difficulties in managing and responding to emotions effectively. In many mental health disorders, such as borderline personality disorder, BPD for the acronym, bipolar disorder, and post traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, as the acronym, individuals often experience intense, complex emotional responses that are difficult to modulate. This difficulty in regulating emotions can manifest as extreme mood swings, impulsivity, and emotional numbness, impacting daily functioning and interpersonal relationships. Various therapeutic approaches aim to facilitate emotional healing and well-being, such as mindfulness-based interventions, which emphasizes awareness and acceptance of emotions without judgment. That can help individuals manage anxiety and depression by cultivating emotional resilience and reducing reactivity. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, and dialectical behavioral therapy, DBT, also therapeutic interventions, are designed to help individuals develop skills to recognize, to understand, and to regulate their emotions more effectively. Here, I feel that I must give a brief definition of CBT and DBT. CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, is a therapeutic approach that focuses on identifying and changing negative thought patterns and behaviors that contributes to emotional distress and undesirable behaviors. It emphasizes the connection between your thoughts, your feelings, and your behaviors, aiming to replace harmful and unhealthy patterns with more adaptive ways of thinking and responding. By addressing these cognitive disorders and by implementing practical strategies, individuals can learn to manage their emotions better and improve their overall well-being. DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy, this therapy combines cognitive behavioral therapy with mindfulness and acceptance-based strategies. It focuses on helping individuals achieve a balance between accepting themselves and making positive changes in their lives. DBT is particularly effective for individuals with intense emotional experiences and difficulty regulating those emotions. It teaches skills such as mindfulness and distress tolerance and emotional regulations and interpersonal effectiveness to help individuals cope with distress in situations and managing intense emotions and building, of course, healthier relationships. Now, beyond CBT and DBT, approaches like ACT, acceptance, there's a lot of acronyms here, Again, visit my website. You will find more details on this sort of stuff. So approaches like ACT, which is acceptance commitment therapy. This therapy focuses on accepting difficult emotions while committing to actions aligned with personal values and goals. So I'm accepting this difficult moment. I'm accepting this moment as if I had chosen it. When I can accept a moment as if I had chosen it, I can come at it from a different vantage point. Why did I choose it? I must have chosen it because somehow it is here to build me, to teach me, to grow me. Therefore, I'm going to accept this as if I had chosen it. In the here and in the now. I'm not going to judge these emotions. I'm not going to judge this difficult moment. But while I'm accepting it, I'm also going to be forward thinking and committing myself to actions that are aligned with my personal values and goals. See, in this moment, we're not going to commit ourselves to actions that are contrary to that difficult emotions, because by doing so, we are saying that there's something wrong with that difficult experience or that difficult emotions. We are not going to judge that moment. We are aware of that moment. We are going to be witness consciousness of that moment or that difficult situations. We're just going to witness it without judging it, and we're going to accept it. As little kids, we would recite the prayer of serenity. And like I said, I was a little kid doing it, so I don't remember the entire thing. But somewhere it says, God grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, to change the things that we can, and to know the difference. So in committing to actions that are aligning with our personal values and goals, that would be that area where we acquire that wisdom to know the difference. As we accept what we had chosen, we understand and know the difference and have extrapolated wisdom from there. And now we're going to be forward thinking, committing ourselves to actions that are aligned with our personal values, our goals, and our greatest desires for our best lives. Excuse me, sometimes I digress. Sometimes I let go and let flow, and yes, I let flow. All right, to move on, there are a few subheadings within therapeutic interventions that highlight the intricate relationship between emotions and various facets of human experiences, underscoring the profound influence on psychological well-being, artistic expressions, and cultural narratives. These are called expressive therapies, which is another area that uses art therapy and music therapies. These methods provides avenues for nonverbal expressions and processing of emotions. These approaches, they can be particularly effective in addressing traumas and grief and other emotional challenges by fostering self-expression and promoting emotional integration and growth. The expressions of emotions through visual arts can include painting and sculptures and photography that offers powerful means for that artist to convey complex emotional experience and perspective. When I speak of artists, it doesn't matter as long as you can pick up a brush and a paint or a stencil, and you can even just do a stroke. You're an artist. It is your expression. It is abstract, and it is you. And you, whatever you do is enough. right? So you are considered an artist by just your expressions. It's another form of we talked about journaling. So if you can choose, if you're visual, you can choose art, you can choose poetry, you can choose painting and sculpting and photography to assist you in this area. Poetry, I just mentioned in passing. Literature and poetry are a few more examples of expressive therapy, as they are rich with emotional themes that resonate with readers on a deeper level. Through narratives and verses, the authors and the poets, they explore the full spectrums of human emotions, from joy and from love and joy to sorrow and despair. They offer insight into human conditions and fostering of empathy and understanding amongst readers. So there is something about reading literature and poetry, because it is it explored a full spectrum of human emotions. There is always something that can resonate with us, somehow in that innate form that I talked about when I talked about basic and complex emotions. Music, on the other hand, music has as part of this art expressive therapy, music has a profound impact on our emotions. Music is capable of evoking feelings of nostalgia, excitement, relaxations, or sadness through melodies and rhythms and lyrics. Whether you're listening to upbeat, uplifting tunes or melancholic ballads, music can serve as a therapeutic tool for emotional regulations and mood enhancement, providing you with comfort and solace during times of emotional distress. I tend to think of music as a universal language, the language of the universe, the language of the I am, the language of divine source, the language of nature. I mean, you can, even if you're just doing a nature walk, the trees are singing, the birds are singing. Nature is so much full of all of this artistic expression. That's why nature walk is so very powerful. And I encourage you to, if you don't already, if you do continue, and if you don't already, do try to connect with nature somehow. Sit by the water, take a nature walk, a hike or a walk. Listen to the birds, listen to the tree, feel the sun, the breeze. They call it a wind bath. It is so refreshing. It is so uplifting. It is a form of meditation. They've actually, I think Joe Spinoza or Spinenzer, I'm sorry if I'm saying his name wrong. He developed or encourages his followers to do something called walk therapy. It's absolutely beautiful. So you can also look into that and explore these types of mindfulness therapeutic activities that are very, very, very helpful for our overall well-being. All right. So we have come to pretty much the end of this conversation. I trust that you're still with me, and you're inspired and you've learned much. So here are my final thoughts. Understanding the complexities of emotions is not merely a therapeutical pursuit, but a critical aspect of personal development and holistic wellness for every single human being. Emotions, they influence every aspect of our lives, from decision makings and relationships to overall mental and physical health. By fostering these emotional awareness, individuals can gain insight into their own feelings and behaviors, which is fundamental in managing stress and enhancing our resilience and improving the overall quality of our life. Emotional science, as we talked about, emotional science has adopted advances in brain imaging and psychophysiology to provide insight into how emotional processes unfold in the brains. And there is also growing research in neuroplasticity, which underscores the brain's capacity to adapt and to change through experiences and interventions. These modern scientific trends in neuroscience, it continues to deepen our understanding of emotional regulations and resilience by deeply exploring the brain's role in emotional regulations, the impact of mental health disorder, and the effectiveness of various therapeutical approaches. By recognizing how emotional dysregulation can affect mental health conditions like anxiety and depressions, we are better equipped to appreciate the importance of therapies such as CBT and DBT in fostering emotional resilience and healing. Additionally, the integration of personal support such as family and friends alongside professional help, which may include life coaches, therapists, and counselors, are critical for comprehensive emotional well-being. We also explored various emotional regulation techniques, which include healing modalities such as mindfulness meditation, centering prayer, emotional literacy programs, and cognitive behavioral techniques for enhancing EI. Centering prayer, again, I didn't really go much depth into it, but you can also find that on my website or Google what centering prayer is all about. It is quite effective. The two most popular methods within this technique is mindfulness meditation, that helps individual observes their emotions without judgment to cultivate awareness of present moment experience, promoting emotional clarity and stress reduction. And there is the cognitive reappraisal, which involves reframing negative thoughts to promote a more balanced perspective. Engaging also in expressive therapy such as the art, music, writing, or any other creative outlet can facilitate emotional processing and clarity. Modern researches such as apps like Headspace or Calm, they also offer guided meditations and mindfulness experiences. And there's also this book by Daniel Goleman, Emotional Intelligence, it's called. You can, if you want to have a good read into that, he's got a lot of great materials on this subject of emotional intelligence. Again, his name is Daniel Goleman, and his material can provide deeper insight into understanding and managing our emotions. The goal of this conversation is for us to become aware of and having a deeper understanding of the complexities of human emotion, because this is no small feat. However, it is possible for us to attain once we recognize that emotional intelligence is a pathway to greater self-awareness and to improve relationships and a more balanced life. See, in order to balance these multifaceted strategies, empowered individuals such as yourself, by dedicating time and effort to understanding our emotional landscape and employing effective transformational practices along with regular regulation techniques, we can not only enhance our ongoing emotional development, but also contribute positively to our community and society at large. Emotional development, I would say, to conclude, is our responsibility individually, regardless of coulda, woulda, shoulda, all the shoulds. I could have, I would have, I should have, the past, our race, our parents, and whatever other trite excuse we've been using to keep ourselves in familiar, self-defeating, comfortable, soul-soothing stories of victimizations. Playing that as a trump card no longer works in this day and age of informational expansion, social infrastructure with programs for personal development and professional helps that is readily available to whomsoever wants help. Let us embrace the journey of emotional discovery together and lead more fulfilled lives. There is always somewhere or something that we can improve on in our personal lives. Help is available. Just ask for it. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for your attention. Real champions who have stuck with me throughout this conversation, I'm grateful for you and thank you that you found value in my offerings. And if you like this sort of content, do look out for my next topic, questioning belief systems, that will be out on the 25th of July. Also, do check out my website for additional resources and recent excerpts on empathy that I have there. Again, the website is www.aliciakey-holisticwellness.com. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I really would appreciate your connection. Until next time.